What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wingers and Defenders. We know it's been a long time since we recorded a video, but we're going to start coming up with content. I'm coming home from college, so we'll have more free time. But we'll be talking about Ole and Manchester United, which I know all of us like them being very inconsistent lately. Well, for the last couple of years, honestly. But Joe, how you doing today?
I'm vibing and surviving, my brother.
I shouldn't be.
He said that like 8 times in the last.
I'm vibing and surviving.
Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Just came off the Arsenal win against Dundalk. Something that Tottenham Hotspur fans cannot say they came off of. So I'm feeling great.
Yep. So, you know what? Since Joe is the one that brought this conversation up to us, let's just start off with you, Joe. What are your thoughts on Ole and whether or not he should be the manager at Manchester United?
If Manchester United want to be taking a serious title contenders, and I know that's kind of laughable coming from a Tottenham fan, but hear me out. If they want to be taking a serious title contenders, they got to move on from Ole. He's not a good manager. He doesn't really have the tactics to go up against to win a title. He'll drop points that he shouldn't have. I mean, we saw him in Europa League. They should have probably won the Europa League. They should have won the final, went to the final, but they didn't because shocking. He doesn't know he's not good tactically. He's a great manager, but he's not a great tactical manager. And I think they should hire Pochettino would be a great fit for this United team.
Jake?
Yeah, there's a mirage, or the United fans are deluded to the sense that they think they should be taken seriously. But when in reality, every other team in Premier League doesn't take them, Man United, seriously as title contenders because they have Ole in their team as their manager. If they brought in Pochettino, I guarantee, people in the Premier League would actually take United more seriously. Like we've said in the past, or Joe just said, he's a good manager to an extent because, again, he's not really in charge of like who comes in and who leaves the club per se. But Van de Beek, what is the point of that signing? I mean, I think we've spoken about Ole in the past before, and I think his players like playing for him, but the reason that they get good results isn't down to his tactics. It's down to his players showing up and performing. Yes, they're in good form currently. They just beat Champions League finalist PSG last week, and they just beat RB Leipzig yesterday in dominant fashion. Marcus Rashford is very in form, looking very good. And with Arsenal playing them this weekend, I'm worried about Marcus Rashford. But I'm not worried about Ole Gunnar Solskjær's tactics. I don't think he's going to outclass anyone tactically. Maybe Pep for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just how it works. But as a manager, he's not serious. I don't take them seriously. I don't think they're going to win anything major with him there. If he does win something major, and then he'll prove me wrong, definitely. He'll shut me up. But until that happens, I don't see anything with this team. They'll get a couple results, your team will get really up, and nothing's going to happen.
I mean, one of his worst decisions is he chooses the captain of United, and he chose a fridge. I don't know why. He gives the guy who walked into the team for his first year.
So who would you give it to instead? Just to
I'd
ask.
probably give it to Rashford. I'd probably give Rashford the captaincy over Maguire, even Martial. Although I don't really rate Martial that highly.
What about
I'd
Bruno?
probably give it to someone who's been
Because
there
he gave
for
it
a
to
while.
Bruno when they played at in Paris last week.
Yeah, I would be okay with Bruno, but I think for someone to be captain, I think you should have to be there for a while. That's why I never understood the idea of giving it to Harry Maguire, a.k.a. Slabhead, a.k.a. the 80 million pound refrigerator. I don't know why they gave it to him right away. That didn't make sense. I felt like it should have went to Rashford or something like that, or someone like that, or even De Gea. I don't really understand why they would give it to someone new.
Yeah, De Gea.
Wow, that's an interesting shout.
Why not De Gea?
The guy that's won.
I don't think he's going to be there after his contract expires.
That is true, but De Gea's won like Player of the Year for Man United like 5 times as a goalkeeper.
That's a good point.
That's kind of disgusting. I can't really lie. That's kind of a banter club vibe. That
You don't
keepers
like
winning Player of the Year.
Captains?
Hmm?
You don't like the idea of a goalkeeper being captain?
No, but it says something about your team. When it's that guy, when that guy's not captain, Player of the Year, like 4 times.
Yeah, back when that was right after Ferguson left, I think, or most of those were when he was gone. But I just wanted to mention, because me and Joe had a conversation early this week about just the title and like how all these different teams could win it. Because honestly, I know Joe's mentioned it, and I mean, me and Jake kind of were hesitant to believe that 5 or 6 teams could maybe win this title. I'm starting to believe what Joe was saying way back when. So Joe, we'll give you credit. But like, this is the thing is with the United, like they could be in that race if they got rid of Pochettino. The problem is they're not, or excuse me, if they got Solskjaer rid of him, and they never did. So, and they probably won't. That's the issue because, like Jake mentioned, they'll have 5 good games and then they'll have 2 bad games. So the consistency is so bad that we'll never know what they can actually do if they could actually get a good manager who's been proven, like a Pochettino or maybe a guy like Allegri or some other guys in the market that are actually proven, but Ole's just not at that level at the moment. And like Jake said, if he does win a title of some sort, we can give him credit for what he's done because the morale at the club is much better than it used to be. Because with Mourinho, and while he is now proven me and Jake a little bit wrong with Spurs right now, but when he was with United, it was not good. I mean, the issues with Paul Pogba and him were
trophies, morale. Trophies, morale. Okay. I don't really care. You could be upset. I'll take the trophies. I'm sorry. I don't really care.
Well, we'll wait to see if Spurs can pull off a trophy.
Oh, my manager hurt my feelings. Boo-hoo. Win a trophy. Trophies and banners.
Jake, why is a Spurs supporter talking?
It's because his managers won trophies, not his club. That's all I have to say.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Sure,
I'm taking this all sports. Banners fly forever. Trophies last forever. Just because you're having my manager makes me feel good and I like my manager, that doesn't mean crap.
Crap. Let me offer this question, Joe. Do you think that Mourinho would have been able to get what we've gotten out of Mason Greenwood lately? Do you think he would have helped his progression?
Absolutely. Can
we get an example? What young player has he progressed in throughout his career with Spurs?
Skip has looked very, very good. To be fair, when he played, he hasn't got a lot of playing time now. He's on loan.
I think that's not a fair argument. In my opinion,
there isn't at Spurs.
I mean, he sends a lot of people out on loan. He sent a lot of people out on loan this year.
Yeah, that's what he would do.
I don't think the morale, and you say the morale, it doesn't matter. I think so. If you want to specifically talk about his United stint, it matters.
It matters if you're not winning trophies. Obviously,
but they only won one trophy.
Low and you're still winning trophies.
So you're telling and you can say that I honestly don't remember who they played in the Europa League final, but that was the first. I believe that was the first year Mourinho was there, and then he was there another year and a part of another one before he was sacked. I believe that was how it was.
No, I think he was there. That was the second season.
Mourinho. I'll look at it now, but I mean, I just don't see Mourinho being the guy that was going to progress Greenwood because honestly, I don't know if he would have given the opportunity.
Oh, and Ndombele.
No.
What do you mean no?
What do you mean no? He wasn't bought by him, first of all. He was bought by Pochettino, and
he's giving him playing time. He's a young player. He's a young
21.
Player.
He's like 21, not like 17 or 18 like Greenwood.
All right, we don't have any, though. We don't really have any 17.
You just said skip, and it wasn't good enough. You ran out of players?
We don't have any youngsters that are coming up right now.
Because Jose's not – Greenwood?
How about Jose? He literally just got here. There's just legitimately not that many youngsters.
I'll give you the
They don't have the talent. Yeah, they don't have the talent that they don't have the talent that United have. But what I'm saying is Jose would have preferred to buy somebody than bring Greenwood up. That's what I.
There you go. That's how I see it as well. Because Greenwood would have only gotten the opportunity with a guy like Ole there because he is a guy that wants. He's not a tactical guy, but he's going to give the opportunity to the youngsters. He's given it to Brandon Williams. We saw Twanzebe play last week against Paris, which I don't know how.
I don't know if I agree with that. He literally put Oliver Skip in a North London derby trying to close out in a one goal lead. I don't understand.
Close down. There's a difference between starting a guy and bringing a guy on when the game is in a different situation.
When you're an 19-year-old who's not starting qualities, why would you start someone who's not ready to start?
So then he hasn't progressed Skip to be a quality
Skip has progressed a lot since Pochettino.
I don't. I don't think that's a fair argument to be comparing Oliver Skip and Mason Greenwood.
Jose, not a fair argument. Mason Greenwood is arguably a generational talent. And Oliver Skip is a DM who's playing in the championship right now.
Oh, he's
Jose
on loan?
He's on loan. He's on loan with Norwich right now.
Oh, I didn't know
does
that.
not develop talent. Jose
Look
acquires
what he's done with Ndombele. Look what he's done with Ndombele.
It's
He's
but
look-
he didn't.
he
The
is
thing
look-
is,
a lot better. A lot better.
Let me rephrase the question. Jose does not develop homegrown talent within the academy. No. I don't remember him doing it at Chelsea.
All right, I'm gonna give this to you, but I'm gonna give you the reasoning for it. The reasoning for that is that he's normally there for only 3 years. How are you gonna? 3 years isn't really.
so
enough
do you
time.
think he will be at Spurs longer than 3 years?
I don't know. I don't know. I just see how it progresses because normally the locker room degrades, but we'll see. I don't think he's gonna go until there's a. I think it depends on what happens with Son and Kane. That's what I'll say. If we decide to sell Son and Kane, I think we'll probably move on from Mourinho and try to start up with a new manager and kind of build up a team that way. If we keep Son and Kane, I could see him staying until they move on.
Just to clarify, Mourinho was there for over 2 years. I just looked. Then he was sacked in that third year. So we'll see if that happens. But let's kind of just switch this to the dynamic of the team and like how it all goes through. Because honestly, I know me and Joe have said it before. I think we all could agree that the talent in the team is good enough, especially in this year where anything can happen, and we could all see somebody like a Leeds or an Everton finish in the top 4. I think we could all agree that the talent is good enough to at least be pushing close to a title race. I know the defense is pretty poor, and I know that's why you call Harry Maguire a fridge, and rightfully so. He's been pretty bad this year especially. But, Joe, what do you think of the current roster of the squad at the moment?
They have a very good roster. I like their attack. I mean, I really, really like Rashford. I think once they stop playing Daniel James for whatever reason and start actually giving Greenwood minutes, like starting minutes, they'll be very, very good on attack. I'm not so sure in their striker position. I don't really rate Martial like that. I don't really rate Cavani like that. Their midfield is something where I think you need someone to come in and really tactically do a midfield, because right now it's just Bruno Fernandes and pray for penalties at this point. That midfield. I mean, I rate Fernandes a lot. I think he's going to be a great player, but like they're not doing much. I also think they need a true DM. I think that's going to be. I think that should be their top of their list. I don't think you can continue to rock. I don't think a title contending team rocks with McTominay at DM
or Matic.
Yeah, I don't really think either of those guys are title contending DMs or title winning DMs. Let me rephrase that. But I think if Pogba can actually say, okay, I'm going to play this 8, play more of a Bruno at the 10. If Pogba can actually say, yes, I'm going to play an 8, then you get a true 6. I do think this team's very good title contending. I rate AWB a lot. And I think Tellez is going to be a good addition. Is a good addition as well.
Yeah. So, Jake, what do you think of that as well?
I agree with you. They actually have defensive midfielders, but they're not very quality. I don't think McTominay is that poor, but he's on a championship.
Exactly. He's not a bad DM. He's just, like you said, like I said, he's just not a title winning DM.
Especially right now at his age.
He's not a Conte in 2015. He's not a Ndidi. He's not a Partey. He's not even a Højbjerg. He's not a Fabinho.
He's not proven enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you look at what they had problems they needed to address in the transfer window. I think they had 5 signings that they should have made, or 5 like areas they needed to strengthen. So they needed a left back, which they addressed. That's when they addressed. They brought in Tellez. I think it was probably the best possible signing outside of Reguilon that they could have gotten. So I think they addressed that problem. They did need a center back because I don't think Lindelof is a champion of a title-winning center back like Maguire. You need someone better than that. They didn't get a center back. And then they had less major signings that they could have survived without, but it would have been great for their team. A defensive midfielder, like Joe has said, a right winger. We know they've been linked with Jadon Sancho for 5 years, and they could not get that deal through. And what do? They bought another striker for depth, Cavani, who didn't play much in the Ligue 1 last year, and they gave him Sancho's number, the number 7. And Cavani is, I guess he's a depth player, but I feel like I don't know if Cavani wants to be a depth player. I think I don't know. He doesn't give me like an ego, like he has an ego or anything like that. But I think he came to this team to start to take the position from Martial. I don't think he wants to be a bench player personally, and so that kind of confuses me more because if you want to bring this guy in as a bench player and he wants to start, and Martial's not really good, you kind of have two dead weight strikers at the top, and then you brought in Van de Beek, who's a midfielder, not defensive, so you didn't address that problem either. So there's problems all over the field, really. The right back is settled. Left back, they need to start Tellez, but Ole is insistent on playing Luke Shaw still. Don't know why. Midfield, we've said, Joe has said, Pogba needs to settle into his role, actually perform in matches. He hasn't had a really, really good match in a while. Can't be so reliant on Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes to carry them through games. Yes, they played very well against RB Leipzig, but when it comes down to it, they're still losing to Crystal Palace. They're still losing to these mid-table teams, and they're still in 15th place in the Premier League. If you want to win a title or at least challenge for one, you need to beat those teams. So they cannot rely on Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford to carry them through matches consistently. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I'd say they even have more problems than Arsenal on the field, at least. Like we have problems like internally and everything like that. I'm not going to get into that, but on the field,
And they do too, though. With Woodward and Glazers.
well, yeah, they do. But I think on the field they have more problems they need to address than Arsenal does. I think
You guys just need to play attacking football. You guys are fine.
Yeah.
Arteta just needs to come out of his shell and actually, get something right tactically.
Yeah, I think today was a good example. It was against Dundalk, we know, but like I saw risk takers. I saw people that wanted to be direct, to run at players, make things happen. That's our biggest problem at Arsenal. United, it's Martial. How consistent can he be? Can he be an elite striker, a title-winning striker? Greenwood is a great player, but can he play a full season? He's still like 18 or 19. Can he play a full season? The midfield, Pogba, Bruno, how's that going to work? Van de Beek, does he start games now? Does it throw the whole balance of the midfield off? Can you play?
I think you got to say Pogba. If Pogba doesn't start shaping up and playing well, you got to bench him for Van de Beek. I'm sorry. I know Pogba.
I agree. No, I agree.
Pogba is on his day is a top 2 midfielder in the world, but like he's not on his day very often.
It hasn't been his day for a while. Yeah.
No,
And then,
I don't think he's performed well, to be quite honest with you, since Project Restart. So
No.
he hasn't really had I can't sit there and think of a top-class performance he's had this year, honestly.
He'll make 1 or 2 good long balls a game and have all United Pogba fans be like, "Oh, he's back, he's back." What has he done the rest of the game?
he was shambolic against Spurs. Shambles against Spurs.
He let Benjamin Davies, a player I want cut and sent to Alcatraz, put him in a spliff. I want Ben Davies sent to Alcatraz after today's game. I want him lock him up. He'd terminate his contract, lock him up. He doesn't deserve to wear the badge. He doesn't deserve to wear a badge of a team in the 15th division of English football. That man is a scrub. Certified scrub, and I need him off my team. Also, on the topic of Spurs players, I would like to apologize to Christian Pulisic. I would like to apologize to him because I had the audacity last year to put Steven Bergwijn in the same conversation as Christian Pulisic. I was wrong. It was a purple pass by him. He's been a ghost as well. All right, anyway, back to Man United.
Wow. Things are changing.
I'm all for
I'm
Joe
impressed.
coming back to reality, understanding that.
I'm waiting for you to apologize for putting Pepe in that same category as well, though.
I think he's better than Bergwijn. I still say that I don't know if he's better than Pulisic, but
I don't know. He's not in the same category. Both of them are not in the same category.
Oh yeah, they're not. But he's better than Bergwijn.
Yeah, I'll give you that for now. I mean, both are terrible. But.
No, Pepe is not terrible. He hasn't been performing well. Bergwijn hasn't done anything.
Both of them are awful right now.
Pepe has done more than Bergwijn.
That's not saying much.
He's still playing much better.
I've done more than Bergwijn this season.
You see Pepe's goal today? It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
let's go back to United.
Royal Antwerp, so can't even say anything.
Okay, so we'll go through the whole team, and obviously I said this before too, and we had a good conversation over text. So defensively, we all could agree that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a title-winning right back at the moment. I think we all agree on that. But everybody else, the only guy I find interesting is Tuanzebe, which I don't know if both of you watched the PSG United game, but he pretty much shut down Mbappe and Neymar And it's a pretty good performance. And I believe he was out for over a year, almost a year with an injury. Then played. That was his first game. And next thing you know, he's shutting down two of the best attackers in the world. So I think they should give him an opportunity. I can't say he's a title-winning center back because we've never seen him play consistent minutes. But I'm sure he's better than Lindelof, and he might even be better than the Fridge.
Maybe.
Thoughts?
I like Twin Xavier.
You can remember, purple again. One game isn't necessarily enough. I'd say give him
Sure.
But like, for example, I'm going to bring this back to our game when Spurs and Liverpool played in December of 2019, or maybe it was January 2020. Japhet Tanganga had one of the best performances. He locked up Sadio Mane all game long. Since then, he's kind of been very injury prone. I mean, he still had good performances, but he hasn't looked as good as that game. So we have to wait to just say, let's see him do it in the running games first.
Oh, sure. No, my argument to playing him is just because we've seen Lindelof play consistently. We've seen Maguire play consistently. And it's not title-winning quality. So I think you give the opportunity to the youngster who, if he gets a good stretch of games, maybe he can prove that he is somebody that they don't need to go and buy out another center back necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Ole
can do that. I just don't see him doing it. I think he likes that Lindelof-Maguire partnership a little too much. I think he's just has tunnel vision with those two. So,
yeah, and then obviously left back, Alex Telles missed yesterday's game, which was really weird that they announced it after the game, but he was missing with COVID. They also have Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. All three of those guys. I mean, Alex Telles, I think we all could agree that Reguilón was the number one guy, and they ended up pretty much having one of the most disappointing windows, in my opinion, and definitely in the Premier League, because if they had triggered the Sancho move, I think we'd be talking about a very different conversation right now. But missing out on Reguilón was pretty poor as well.
I think Sancho would have been a great signing for them. I don't think it should have been top of the list. I really think they should have figured out center back and DM.
Sure, no, you're right.
I think even if they got Sancho and they still didn't fix anything else, I still would be a little bit disappointed in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just the headline name that they were always looking for. And honestly, for him, I would have stayed at Dortmund as well. I mean, they're looking much better than United are right now.
Yeah. I said right wing was a signing they could have made, but it wasn't a must for them. It was one that they could have made. It's more depth because you don't want a young Greenwood to start every game for you. So bring in Sancho to play a good amount of games, and Greenwood come off the bench and get a lot of goals still because he's that talented. But he's not as important as a left back or a center back, or even a CDM possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they go and get a center back in January because they really should, especially if they're not convinced Tuanzebe is a third option that could be there consistently. But I don't know. And then we'll move to the midfield. We just talked about it before with the DM and wide. So, Joe, is there anybody in particular you think they should look at? I mean, it's probably difficult to go get an elite player in January, but like a Declan Rice maybe, or is there any other option?
Declan Rice would be a great signing for them. Declan Rice would be a great signing for them. Because, I mean, I think he could be arguably on a title-winning side for a DM. I think he's very good. I don't know who else, really. I'm blanking right now. I mean, trying to think.
Yeah, I don't – he's always the name that comes up to me because we even see links to Chelsea, which they pretty much just are linked to everybody, it seems like.
Frank Lampard. What did I say, guys?
That he's a fraud.
That Frank is a fraud.
I mean, they won like 4-0 yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was against Krasnodar.
No, it was not against a good team.
Yeah.
I think it was no, it wasn't Krasnodar.
No, it was Krasnodar.
Oh, really? I got it right.
Yeah. Pulisic scored, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I hear where Joe's coming from because this is $200 million just on the attack, and they're not doing it in the Premier League. They're just not doing it.
What did I say about Warner, too? He's had one good game so far.
Which one?
I watched the game.
It was Southampton.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when he dinked the keeper on his second goal. That was a great goal.
What have they been doing? What if him and I can't say that.
We need to make a video on Chelsea too, bro.
Just say his name.
You know I can't use their nickname. You know I can't use their nickname on here.
Say his actual name.
Kai Havertz and Werner. Both of them have been underperforming.
Yes.
Oh, no, you're right. And I think
You want
we
to
should
say
honestly
another-
this is going to trigger another video idea because honestly, we should probably talk about them because they've probably
I'll
been
just
more
let you guys know my nickname for them.
Yeah, but you didn't have to say the nickname. Just don't say the nickname.
I know. I just want those guys, those brothers over there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could argue they're more disappointing than United. I think that's not a terrible
I
argument.
will say Mendy at keeper, very
Yeah,
good,
you're
very
right.
good.
Yes, Mendy against United was fantastic. Some of those saves kept them in the game.
You know what's funny? That game was a technical disaster class on both sides. No tactics, just vibes. 0-0.
Which game?
Man United, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, that game. No one wanted to take a risk. Like every time they made it like an attack, like the team would just back off. They didn't want to like get caught on the counter.
Very Arteta ballish.
Anyway, Mendy, 4 clean sheets in October. Kepa, 4 clean sheets since January.
It's time to start a dialogue.
He's not even in the squad for the rest of the season, right? I think they put Petr Cech in.
No, that was just for one Champions League game.
That's for one game because I think it's an emergency thing.
That's just embarrassing to begin with.
Oh yeah, but I mean he deserves it. So.
Embarrassing club, Chelsea Football Club.
We can make a video on them because they're
Yeah, we'll save that for another day. But
I gotta see
I
if I can
mean-
get one of my. I gotta see if I can get one of my friends on for that one.
yeah,
Well, they better not lose before he gets on.
so for me, I think it's interesting because the CDM position for them is pretty suspect. I think Fred, which we saw in the first season, was really bad. I mean, he was one of the most terrible signings because I think he was brought in for over 60 million, and I think he had links to City because he came from Shakhtar in Ukraine, and it was just not a good signing. Then last year, it looked okay, which I mean is an upgrade for considering the way he was in that first season.
Well, I told you I've been on the Fred hype train.
I think there is some potential there. I don't know if that's necessarily a number one option in a Premier League winning side, but he's definitely not terrible. And then, like you mentioned before, McTominay is unproven but has potential to be good, but as of right now is not a title-winning guy either. And Joe's favorite guy is the penalty merchant in Bruno Fernandes.
I can't stand him, but honestly, you bring Poch in, you can set up that team where he's looking like prime Christian Eriksen directing.
Yeah, so I wanted to quickly mention that article you wrote. I really enjoyed reading, so we'll put that in the description for the video. It's interesting because a lot of the similarities to that Pochettino team and the guys that they could transition into playing similar way would actually put this team back. It's necessarily not necessarily as a title winning just because there is some holes, but I think it's better if you have him than Ole for sure. So a prime Eriksen comparison to Bruno could be really disgusting if he.
I want Eriksen back at Tottenham. We need creativity. I'll take Ozil right now. We just need creativity in our midfield.
Whoa.
Times have changed.
I would take
Joe
Ozil.
is changing.
I
Wow.
would take
This is
Ozil.
crazy. Tottenham's not happy about that one.
We are not a title-winning side if we don't get creativity. Maybe we need to hit up OR in January.
Oh, they're going for Arsenal links now.
We just need someone creative in the midfield. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think Gio's that creative. He's not going to push you over the
Tanguy?
top. What?
Tanguy and Dombele.
Again, he's still more of a ball progressor. I think he's more
Wow,
creative.
Joe is
than
just
Gio,
changing.
but
He's
he's
going
not.
from wind-up to reality.
Like I still think Ndombele is going to be one of the best players in the Prem and one of the best midfielders in the world. But I don't think he's that creative guy where you could. I think he could ping passes across the pitch, make great long balls, and even do some great through balls. But he's not going to be doing that consistently. I don't know if he can break down a low block consistently. But you know who our most creative player is right now? Harry Kane.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, this is for another video. We're talking about
We're
United.
talking about
here.
United. We can probably do a whole team like at some point. Do like a bunch of teams talking.
We should. We haven't made a video in over a month, so we really got to get into this again.
Yes, definitely. Okay, and then we'll just move on to the attack. I know we mentioned Martial. I think that's definitely the most important topic because Rashford, we all agree, is top quality on and off the pitch, which he's literally turned into one of the most influential English people at the moment, which is crazy at the age of 22. Mason Greenwood, we also agree that he's not. We don't know if he can prove it over a full season, but definitely the talent's there. But it's Anthony Martial and Edison Cavani. I think we don't. I mean, we all agree. I think. Well, no, Joe actually said he would rather start Cavani. Correct?
I mean, I don't really think I'd probably go Cavani just more on pedigree alone. But again, I don't really think you're necessarily wrong starting Martial. Again, I think both these players at this point in their careers are just mid.
Jake?
I don't trust either of those players, to be fair. Cavani, shown that he's a top quality striker for the last couple of years at PSG. Maybe not the last few years, but in the past he has. But again, he's playing for PSG, a top team. It's not hard to get goals at PSG, and they haven't won anything major at PSG in a while. And then Martial, the guy that might be the most overrated striker in the Premier League, in my opinion. United fans overrate this guy, and I don't know why. He had one good season last year. That was due to COVID. Other than that, he hasn't been great since he's come. He's been here for, I think, 5, maybe 6 years, and he's done minimal. He's an average striker. So I don't want either of them, but if I had to pick, it'd be Martial solely based on Premier League experience. Know how to play in the game in the Premier League. But that's it.
No. This know how to play in the Premier League. Bull crap, bro.
He's played in the Premier League for 5
No,
years.
I think that's actually important because
look at what James Rodriguez is doing.
Yeah, you need to have the ability to play in the Premier League. It's a totally different style.
But he's never played in the Premier League before. I think that's hogwash.
Cavani to James Rodriguez is different. Different positions.
I think it's hogwash. I don't buy that at all. I'm sorry.
I think James Rodriguez is. I mean, it's ridiculous how he's performed. Honestly, I didn't expect this.
I don't believe. I mean, I
you
guess
expect James Rodriguez to be on this level?
It's definitely somewhat of a transition, but I don't think it's as big as people say.
No, yeah, I don't think it's big, but I prefer someone with experience in that league compared to someone playing League On defenders.
Yeah, this is true. Look at Ndombele.
I mean, the difference is James Rodriguez is 29 and Cavani's 33. I mean, the 4-year difference in that is pretty substantial in my opinion. But yeah, I think so. Let me phrase it this way: do either of you feel that they have to give up on Martial and sell? Or give him more opportunity.
If they want to be serious, yes.
This is his last year. I should have been last year. It's every year. This is last year.
Sold him over the summer when he had high value.
Yeah, I think in reality this is real because I don't think he'll get injured this year. He has a little suspension right now. It might be done after Arsenal possibly.
It's one more game I think.
He needs to perform this year if we can take him seriously. If he has another season where he gets 10, 11, 12 goals, you have to sell him. And the problem is they're going to lose money on him because that's what they did. They took him in for too long. He didn't perform. They have to sell him now. But if he doesn't perform this year, he has to go. He has to go.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that's a fair point. I think he's 24. He'll turn 25 in December. So the money you can get for him is probably as high as it could be right now. I think you probably could have got upwards of near maybe 70 or 80 million in the summer. Because honestly, he was playing really well during Project Restart. You would have gotten that kind of money. But now it's kind of just a flux where you don't know where he's going to play, how much he's going to play, honestly, because Cavani could start over him. Go ahead.
He scored his first goal yesterday because Rashford gave him a penalty. He hasn't had a shot on target all season.
Yeah, no, it's honestly unacceptable because honestly he's playing in the French side. So and to get in the French team is pretty remarkable right now because
Olivier Giroud is clear.
Wow, that's for France's style, sure, yes, yeah, because honestly they love playing him as a target man alongside of Griezmann, who's also been pretty poor lately as well. But
Griezmann isn't even the best as a striker. He's best as a second striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And, well, that's another topic.
But that's another topic for another time.
Yeah, a whole other topic.
Yeah, so I also agree with you, Jake. I think if Martial has a pretty poor season or average season, they honestly probably should get rid of him. And then, I mean, you could transition back Rashford into a striker because he honestly could play there too.
Or
I prefer him on the wing.
Or Greenwood.
Or if they want to spend peas, Erling Haaland has a £50 million release clause.
No. He's ours.
I'm just saying.
Ours?
Yeah. When we sell Kane this summer, I want Haaland.
When you sell Kane this summer?
Wait, you're selling Kane this summer? Is this breaking news from Joe?
Trophy this year, he's gone.
He has to go. Because he's not winning. Him and Son have to go. They're not winning anything.
If
Jake,
he
I guess
does-
the break of videos changed things because Joe has just turned into a different
if
man.
he doesn't win honestly, if we don't win a trophy this season, I want him gone for his own good. He needs to win trophies for his career to be solidified as a legend. We see how good he is this season. I mean, I've been saying this for a while now. I remember saying this over the summer multiple times. I think this guy's underrated creator. He's a very underrated creator. He's an insane finisher. He just needs to be someplace where he can win trophies. I still do have hope that Mourinho can get him one. I really do. I think, especially with this year, everything's wide open. But if we can't win this year, I want him to go to Real Madrid. I want him to go to Manchester City. I want him to go to somewhere where he can go and win trophies and just solidify his legacy status. And maybe like a Gareth Bale come back to us in his waning years.
Fair enough. But that's all for us on this United topic. It's definitely interesting to see if Poch comes in for an Ole maybe in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Doesn't seem like that would happen right now just because of the form they're currently in. But maybe before the new year, we'll see. But stay tuned. We'll definitely be making more videos. This is a lot of fun, so we got to keep doing this. But just stay tuned. Please let us know if you have any video ideas in the comments below. But just please like and subscribe.